Stop writing that buggy JavaScript code. Seriously, the number one reason beginners and even some intermediate developers run into weird, hard to find errors is by misunderstanding one simple thing: the difference between var, let, and const. Or maybe you have seen let and const in modern tutorials and you are just not sure what the difference is or which one you should be using. Well, you are not alone. This is one of the most common points of confusion for new developers. And in this tutorial, I am going to make it crystal clear. We are going to break down var, let, and const, and by the end of this tutorial, you will exactly know which one to use to write modern, clean, professional JavaScript code. So let's get into it. Welcome to Guide Coaching. My name is Moazzam and I am your guide to learn JavaScript from basics. Let's quickly jump onto the practical window and start learning. Alright, so here we are on the practical window and now we are creating the file. I'll click on the file option over here and then I'll give the extension as JS, that is JavaScript. So this is my empty file. Basically, there are three types of variables which are available. The first one is string. So numeric data is nothing but numbers and boolean data is nothing but true and false. These are the two outcomes which we store. So we'll see all the three types of values. So in here in numeric we have two types of values, that is integer and we have float values. Now let's see the first one. So this is my full name. Now I will add my age. So my age is 35, 34. My salary is 20.5 is my salary. So my marital status is true. This is the name of the variable and this is the value. Okay, so it will be always name of the variable is equals to value. Now this equals to sign over here, we call it assignment operator. Now how to print the values? We have seen it into the previous tutorial how to print values. Now again we are going to see. So we are simply going to write one script, that is console.log. so this is how it is going to print the value. So if I want to print the full name, I'll write full name and I'll save it, and here I have an option to run the code. So if I run it, you can see my full name is printed over here. If I want to print the age, I can print over here and I can get the values as age. Okay, so here I'm getting as 34. If I want to get my marital status, I'll just write marital status and I'll save it and I'll execute it. So this is how my marital status is true. Now there are certain rules while creating a variable. Okay, the first one is JavaScript case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? Here A and capital A is treated differently. If I declare like this, full name is equals to guide coachings 123 new name. So now if I am going to execute this, so once I execute it, you can see over here it is printing this full name. Okay, so now it is not considering this name, it is considering this as a name and it is printing. So that is the first rule, that it is case sensitive. Now we'll see the second rule. If I am trying to enter the number in the beginning, it is not allowed. So if I use hash, it is not allowing. These are the special characters which are available. Dollar sign we can use. Okay, you cannot use hash or numbers. Okay, these are not allowed. If you want to use, you can use underscore, you can use dollar. These are allowed ones. If you want to create a variable with space, that is also not allowed. So if I write full space name, that is also not allowed. And the last one is system defined variables can not be used. Okay, so this is the third and the most important thing of while we are creating variables. We need to keep in mind that we cannot use a system defined variable as a user defined variable. So let's suppose I have console over here, and if I try to write a variable name as console here, though it is not giving an error, but if I try to execute it, see over here it is giving me an error. So this is not allowed. These are the rules which we need to keep in mind. Now we'll talk about let, const and var. are the three variables which you are going to see mostly in your JavaScript codes, out of which only let is mostly used. Okay, so after ECMA is European Computer Manufacturing Association has designed and developed certain rules while using the variable. JavaScript works on runtime execution where the values of variables are taken dynamically. So if tomorrow I want to change the value for first name, and if I want to give a numerical value as 32, I can do that also. If I want to change it as 45 and if I save it, so you can see that now if I execute, so my full name would be 45, that should be presented. So this is how it is working. So it is not dependent on the compilation, it is runtime execution. This variable type is changing accordingly. So earlier it was a string type of variable, now it is a integer type of variable. Now if I change it to 23, 32.5, 32.5, now its data type changed from integer to float, and now it is working as a float value. We call it dynamic binding. Now there are certain rules about let const variable which is developed and designed when to use let and when to use const. Okay, variable was used earlier, it was deprecated from the system. Now we have only let and const. How we can use it, I'll show you. Right, let, and then we can have full name, that it is giving me the value as 30 because declaration is happening over here and initialization happened at the next line. Alright, before we jump into our final summary, I want to take just 30 seconds to talk to those of you who are really serious about accelerating your journey to become a professional data analyst. While YouTube videos are fantastic for learning specific topics like this, if you are looking for a complete structured learning path that takes you from the absolute basic to all the way to building real-time portfolio-worthy projects and IT placements, then I highly recommend you should check out my full course on data analysis 0 to hero. And if you prefer a written guide that you can use as a quick reference for learning English from 4th standard to 12th grade students, then my book Doing English is the perfect companion for those who are studying in 4th standard or in 12th standard. So it is from 4th to 12th, anybody can read English and learn English easily. I've put link to both in the description below. As a thank you for watching it, you will get it on 20% off. Now if I delete this and if I save it and if I try to execute it, it will give me guide coaching with let. This is how let functionality works. Now we have another variable, that is var. Okay, so in var what happens, it will be a global variable. See, let, it will have a block level where it will be a global variable. Now what is global and what is local? So if we have a function and we are declaring any variable inside it, function like this, inside it if I am declaring any let is equals to a is equals to temp variable, outside this function this a won't be recognized. Whereas if I am declaring var full name, this variable will be accessed or considered as a global variable which can be accessed within this function. Also within this function we can use var, and outside also we can use function also. So this is how we can do it. And constant is simply used for constant values like pi. Again, this will have access within the block and it will be constant values, so it cannot be changed. 3.14 is a value which is of pi and we cannot change it. And how we can use const, we'll write const and then we'll write pei and then is equals to, we will be writing 3.14. this is how we are going to declare const variable. So I will just comment out this part. This error is gone. Now ignore this error. As of now we are focusing over here. So this is how const will be declared. This is how let variable is equals to 1 2 3 will be declared, and this is how 1 2 3 5 4 6 is declared. Okay, so this is var and this is temp. This is how the value. So this is your data type, this is your variable name, and this is the value. These are the three different things which you need to keep in mind. Now remember that this name variable is deprecated now, so we cannot use name anymore further. So if I try to write let name is equals to temps, this is allowed. But now if I just try to
use it with this, it will not be allowed. It is deprecated. Okay, deprecated means it is deleted. You cannot be use it in the latest versions. All right, that's all for today. Thank you.
And there you have it. The final verdict is simple. Use constant by default. If you know you need a reassign the value, use let and try your best to avoid var in all your modern code. Following this one rule will make your code more readable, predictable, and save you hours of future debugging. If this video helped you clearing things up, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really tells YouTube that this was a helpful tutorial and shows it to more people. And for more straight to the point tutorials like this one, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Now for my question of the day. What was the most confusing part about variables for you before watching this tutorial? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading them and helping you out. Thanks for watching. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.